You're being very sweet. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And I want to go live and go live. And I am live finally. Hi, everybody. Hey, it's Becky from Power Tools with Thread. You are in our Stitchuation room. This is the Monday through Friday virtual stitching retreat where you hang out with me in here, follow me on my sewing journey. And I hope I can inspire you to put something under the needle. Good morning, everybody in the chat. Yay, we made it. We made it. Y'all made it. Yes. So let's say hello and goodbye to the girls, shall we? There we go. Hi, Nancy from Shirts. Hey, neighbor. Where is my Dottie? You are sitting right under that camera and you're out of shot. There you go, sweet girl. That's a good girl. Oh, my goodness, y'all. She's doing so good. She went out back and barked at the deer this morning. That was very nice. And Frito, I didn't get the right one for you. There we go. We have a system, don't we? This is Dottie. Whoop. Our 4.5 month or 5-month-old now. Almost 5 months, right? Yeah, 4.5-month-old cowboy corgi. Yesterday at the Veterans Day ceremony, someone said, "Is that a corgi or a healer?" And I said, "Yes, tis both." What do I have for you guys? You guys are being so good. All right, we're going to go out here and let the dogs go do their thing. Today's your birthday. Happy birthday, Brenda. Brenda, wander into our virtual kitchen and go get some cake. Come on. We got birthday cake in there. Yay. Yes, you look fabulous, Brenda. Here you go, baby girl. That's for you and that's for you. All right, y'all. Bye-bye. We will get rid of cord creepers. Oh, she just likes to get in those cords. Drives me crazy. Oh, my goodness. So today we're going to work on, isn't it? We have another birthday too. Yay. I love November birthday, my fellow Scorpios. Okie doke, y'all. I got to show you what I did yesterday. I was so proud of myself. Yep. Christy's birthday. We have lots of birthdays today. Lots of Scorpios here in our group. I love it. I love it. Headed there now. Y'all come with me and sing. Okay, Brenda's on her way into the kitchen to do some singing. All right. Oh, I hear y'all warming up. You guys need something to drink first. Get your coffee. We always have a good time in the Stitchuation room, don't we? Hi, Nancy. Good morning. Okay, y'all. We have been working on this Enchanted winter wall hanging. I'm not even going to call it a quilt. It's a wall hanging from Kimberbell for a couple of weeks now. And that's just precious. So I made a mistake and did not set the color stitching right on my multi-needle. And I was doing the penguin and it was just going to town and doing its thing, right? And I stitched blue lips on my penguin instead of orange lips. Okay. So last night, I just couldn't stand the blue lips. I just couldn't stand it. So last night, I took a seam ripper and I went in and I sliced the bobbin stitches on his little beak and got all of that blue stitching out. And then I used the camera system on the Luminaire. And look what I did. Look at that. Nailed it. It was awesome. I nailed it. I thought he was cold blue lips too. Y'all, I was like, yes, I couldn't believe it. It turned out so good. Let's get up close. Let's get a close up so you guys can really get in and see the stitching. I mean, that is spot on placement. Perfect. Just his lips were the same color as his little eyes. So that was not a cool thing. It was good. So I was really happy. I went out. I had the hoop in my hand. I ran out and told my husband, he had blue lips and now he has orange lips. And I was able to do that on my own using the Luminaire and the camera system. And I scanned it and all this. He's just looking at me going, what? I was thrilled. I was thrilled. And so Another lady wrote me yesterday. She had a choice between two machines, and I emailed her back and I said, you need to choose by the most machine you can afford with a camera, right? You definitely need a camera on your machine. So I was just absolutely thrilled with that. He looks fabulous. And I got the whole quilt all put together yesterday. We went to a Veterans Day thing yesterday. And well, see, my husband's not an embroiderer. I mean, he says he is because he can embroider some logos on a shirt or something if I set it up. But he says he's an embroiderer. He's not. He knows how to work the machine a specific way for a certain thing. But to be able to make it sing like this, that's a little out of his range. All right. So is that all I wanted to? Yeah, I wanted to show you guys that. I was just thrilled. Love your luminaire. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, this is nice. So Rocky Point Acres says, you provide great guidance and I'm proud I listened to your advice and made the investment. Yes, yes, yes. You guys, Christmas is coming. If you have the opportunity, you find a luminaire. If you find a luminaire that is under 10, okay, you need to grab it. That's about what they're going through for. If you can find one on a private sale a little bit less, the best way to figure out how to purchase or what to pay for a used machine is to go out on eBay and see what they're going for on eBay. And that's usually the ceiling of where a dealer will sell it. So if you're getting anything under the eBay price, then you're doing great. This was a floor model. So if you get a chance, because they're all over out there, right? And I even know somebody who wants to go back to the store and get hers back. But yeah, the luminaire is fabulous. You've seen them for 10, Linda? Yeah. I've had people email me and say, I found one for $5,700. Is that a deal? And I'm like, don't walk, run. You go get it now. Okay. So if you can do that, you definitely should. Brother Machines and Baby Lock. I call them Brother Lock when I'm teaching. They're great. So, all right. And so today we're going to talk about putting the borders on this thing. All right. So if you'll notice on mine, see how I've got some, what I call a little step down right here and a step up right there. Right now, my borders, edges, all my seam allowances are way off. They're all different. And it doesn't matter in the build process that they're different, so long as you're meeting up those stitch lines and you're stitching them all. And everything matches up nice and tidy. Okay. So when I put on this third section right here, it was important to be able to match up this seam and this seam and this seam so that it looks straight going all the way across. See how they just match right up perfectly. Okay. Another thing too, we talked yesterday a little bit about how you quilters, it will make you crazy when they put thick, heavy stitching in the seam allowance. Okay. That happened on Autumn Love from Riley Blake. And it happens here in this house block too. There's the tree block, which is minimal, but this house block is a doozy. It is a doozy. It has, I'm going to show you here on the back. Look how much stitching right here, that heavy stitching. Okay. And all of those and whatnot, there's the whole bottom of the house and it's in the seam allowance. And that makes some people bat crazy, ugh, right? And it's thick and you need a hammer and you need a clapper and a lot of steam to get it to lay flat and look nice. So why would they do that? Besides the fact of wanting to make sure the stitches go into the seam allowance and don't pop loose on the front. So I got an idea, and it's not original. You know, I love Nancy Halverson's On Wander Lane for Art to Heart. What if you were to take this house block now, okay, because it is a complete house block and they have it fitting, you know, maybe I could have made it a little bit higher up here, but if you look at the picture, the bottom of the house is not, it's not on the picture. It's not designed to be that way. So could I have moved it up? Yeah, but it's not designed for that. So what if I was to take 12 of these house blocks and put them together? I have this one for January. I have a pink one for February, right? I have a green one for March and a pastel one for April, and so on, right? And you could certainly take some editing skills that you might have using embroidery software, and you might put a little pumpkin on your gray and brown house for Halloween or something like that, and make some fall embellishments on it. You could use this and create a whole new quilt because you've got an entire house. So it's pretty cool. That would be adorable. I know. So there's a lot of very cool things that you can do with the designs you get from Kimberbell that are designed, you know, intentionally one way in one project. But if you think about it, you could really do it in a lot of different ways. Okay, I know a lot of you now are going to go see about making some cute quilt houses, right? Wouldn't that be cute? Oh, speaking of which, I've got a link below in the description box for the houses. It's going to be a they're called tiling scene houses, right? And it's a house sew along. It is going to, I think, ship in March, the first house, and that'll be the April kit, I think. That's what I remember Kim telling me, Kim from Kimberbell telling me at market last year. And so I've got a link to that, and I'm going to be sewing that with all of you. So when that comes out, we'll work that into our sewing schedule. It may not be in the Stitchuation room. It might be afterwards at a separate sew along, or it might be in the Stitchuation room. We'll have to see. But I'm going to be doing that too. So, and just like you could do a lot of different things with what they have, all right, they give you so many designs when you get their background quilting patterns. So that's really what I'm going to be doing today, is creating the, we have a 1-inch border that goes all the way around the outside of this. And then there's a 4-inch border. But in your background quilting, if you bought that, you also get a 2-inch inner border and a 6-inch outer border. You get those designs. Now, if you want to make the 6-inch outer border, I recommend, because it's precious with little houses on it. Oh my goodness, it's super cute. If you want to make that, you need to double check and make sure that you have got enough fabric, because the fabric, if you bought the kit, okay, the fabric in the kit, you have enough for the 4-inch border. So if you go cutting 6.5-inch pieces wide, you might be sorry. So be very careful about that. Okay. So the kit, which I'm making, has enough fabric in it for the 1-inch inner border and a 4-inch outer border. So just keep that in mind. Okay. All right. So yes, and Vicky's right. You can use the clear blue tiles too. Clear blue tiles has some very cute stuff and lots of options. If you're going to buy clear blue tiles, and well, if you don't have them yet, you have to buy the very first pack of them, the main set that has the USB in it with all of the designs, and the templates for that. But like you might say, well, I just have a great big machine, so I only want to buy the expansion set. So you get the blue tiles in the expansion set, but you don't get the USB. Those designs are on the USB from kit number 1. So you have to get both. Okay. All right. So now for these borders, if you go through this book, you will never find a paragraph or any kind of thing that says, when you have all of this together, your quilt should measure X by X. And if you're a quilter, that'll make you crazy. So this is for embroiderers. Embroiderers think different than quilters. Okay. So, do I have a video on the clear blue tiles? Sherry, how long have you been here? Girlfriend, of course I do. Got a couple of them. Yeah, I have a video on the clear blue tiles, and I made it probably 4 years ago. So you can do Power Tools with Thread clear blue tiles in the YouTube search box. It'll pop right up. Absolutely. It says volume 1 has 3 houses. Is this what we purchased? Yes. And if you want the embellishment kit, you look through my link and yes, here you go. Donna Hayes. Yes. So there's going to be 4 volumes of these. Okay. And they're going to come out. Well, Kim has a video on them too, Linda, but we want people to watch me, right? Want to watch my video. I went to all that trouble. So if you look through here, it does not say it needs to measure X by X. And as I said, as a quilter, you're going to go, So you've got to use a little bit of math. And I'm going to do mine just a little bit differently than what they tell you to here in the book. In the book, they tell you to pre-cut your fabric. Well, I'm not doing that. Pre-cutting your fabric sets limitations. And I don't like limitations. And so I'm going to do mine just a little bit different and show you what I'm up to. But the first thing I want to do is to get all of my borders to that 1/4 inch seam allowance. And I'm going to show you how I do that. And this is a mini way of how I will square up quilts as well. Okay. Watch Becky. That's right. Watch Becky. I've got a pretty good method in there. And I also show you, I think in that video about using a grid. I'm going to move this camera. I'm going to switch cameras, y'all. And we're going to come over here to the table. So what we've got here, let me put this like this. Okay. I need to flip this around so I can see what you guys are seeing and make sure I get it right. All right. So I want to have a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And I can tell y'all right now, I'm off up here a little bit on this one. And that's okay. That's not going to be a big deal. But you will find that these quilts are actually more square than a regular quilt top, believe it or not, because they're digitized to be that way. So what I'm going to do is take a very large ruler that's got a 1/4 inch marking on the at least 2 edges. Okay, so I've got it here and I can see the white line in the little gridded part, or I can look here. Okay, this has a 1/4 inch kind of a, this is an Omni grid or creative grids. I'm sorry, creative grids. So I'm just looking here at the corner and I'm going to make sure that I've got a 1/4 inch. It's on that outer stitch line right there. And that is straight there. And it is straight 1/4 inch here. Okay. Just get it as square as you can. And I can tell I've got some trimming to do. So I'm going to turn this, my batting. So that's what I'm going to do right now is try to get this as square as I can. And a rotary cutter is very handy at this point in the process. Hold on. Oh. Okay. So I'm just looking to make sure my 1/4 inch line marking on the ruler and the quilt top are good. On 2 corners. Okay, so I'm squaring only on 2 corners. Okay, and that actually matched perfectly up here with that little deer. Okay, and I'm going to do that again on this side. Now, I don't have a very good line over here. I might even be a little shy. That's all right. Well, oh no, I'm good. I'll make it work. Okay, so I'm measuring up right here. And this line up here, I use the wrong line out here. I'm gonna put this. That's gonna leave me with an open edge, but we'll make it work. Not a problem. I get this square. And I'm just gonna go off there, okay? Okay, I'm just gonna keep doing this on all 4 sides to get it square. And Dottie's barking. She went out today and just barked at those deer. I was so proud of her. Okay. In this last corner, I would do 2 at a time, but the camera's in the way, y'all. So I want to make sure this is correct. I'm looking at that stitch line where I made sure to sew everything together. This is perfect. Okay. All right. So why didn't I do the other end? Well, again, a little bit of logistics here, but what I'm going to do now is, now that I know I have one side of that right angle correct, now I'm going to use my big ruler, okay, and just make sure. Now I can see, I know I have it straight. So I'm measuring up this to this, and I can do the rest of that edge. But you really need a big square ruler. It gives you a good line of sight this direction as well as this direction. You can use this, but it's better to have more ruler as much as you can. And this looks good. Okay. And I'm going to go around again. And when you go to measure this, you're going to say, that's odd. That's okay. It doesn't matter. That's the thing with embroidery quilts. It just doesn't matter. I can't see y'all's comments. So if you're talking to me, I can't see you. Let me see if everything's okay. Yeah, everything's okay. Good. So I'm starting down here on this. Let's see. I've got some narrow border. If it gets narrow, don't worry about it. As long as you've got something to stitch, because you're going to stitch inside of that line, remember, just like when we were putting it together. You're not late. You're fine. You're fine. If you're late, you have to bring breakfast tacos. That's the rule. So we're just squaring this thing up here. Let me see. Get that. And this. Yeah, that's pretty close to perfect there. Down there on that end. And the last one to clean this all up. Let's see, where's my, oh, I don't have a line. I'm going to have to trust my other lines. That's perfect right there. Okay. Okay, guys. So now this is all squared up. Perfect. And what they do tell you to do is to measure one end to the other to make sure center. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I've got the seam allowance in there. I'm going to subtract that in my final measurement. So they want you to measure through center. And when I come down here, this thing is 29 1/4. Told you you'd say it was odd. So it's actually 28 3/4 is how much border I need to go from seam to seam. And then this one is 29 7/8. We'll say 29, straight up 29. So it's not square, but you can't tell. Okay. So when you go to look at your border background quilting designs, and even if you don't have the background quilting, you know, if you wanted to do like a piano key border in the outer stitching, that would be nice. You could do all kinds of stuff. My hair, no, oh, what a mess. Bah. Let me put this. It's hot. 75 degrees in here. Roast. So you could do a piano key border in that outer blue right here. That'd be pretty, right? Very simple to do. You could certainly do that. You could do X's all the way down. Just simple if you wanted to do quilting on it yourself in your sewing machine, if you didn't buy the background quilting. Or if you have a set of clear blue tiles, look at their winter one and do that. You've got all kinds of options. So What's a breakfast? If you don't like breakfast burritos, you won't like breakfast tacos. Y'all are talking about tacos now. That's hilarious. Oh, I love a breakfast taco. So here in Texas, we've got a grocery store called HEB. And HEB, right when you walk in the door, it's just the best grocery store in the entire world. And right when you walk in the door, they've got a bakery section where they've got ladies in there making flour tortillas that are exactly like what you get in a restaurant in downtown San Antonio. They are so good. I buy them 10 at a time. And I always have one in the freezer, so we've got backup. You don't know if something's going to happen, right? And I love a good breakfast taco. Oh my gosh, bacon and egg. It's just, if you're not from here and you've never heard of it, they're so good. They're totally different than a flour tortilla you buy on the shelf. Totally different, these tortillas are. I love them. So, you don't even have them in New York. I would leave New York, Maureen. I would leave New York and move to Texas for that reason alone. Oh my goodness. So, okay. I started talking about tacos, lost my train of thought. Yeah, give me a thumbs up, you guys. Y'all are still in there singing in the kitchen. I can hear it going on. Yeah, HEB hasn't made its way to Louisiana yet, Vicki. I would think they're trying to go that way, though. I would think they are. They're wonderful. Oh my gosh, I love that store. Love that store. I went into my store one time. I was looking for some kitchen bouquet. That's an old seasoning, sauce seasoning, okay? And it's used everywhere up in the north, I know. But they didn't have any in my store. And I mean, you simply cannot make beef gravy or a stew or anything like that without it. Well, the only reason I know about it is because my mom was from Wisconsin. So she cooked with it all the time. So I went in there and I said, hey, y'all have any kitchen bouquet? This young guy, he's like, what? He looked it up. Sure enough, they had it. They ordered in a whole box of it just for me. And I got 2 bottles and they put it on the shelf. So it's there. That's very cool. Very cool. It is coming further east. I know. So now you want tacos. Oh, thank you for Keith's prayers. Yeah. So I'm not here tomorrow. Tomorrow is his shoulder surgery. He has bone spurs and he's going to get those taken off. Friday's questionable. Okay. So y'all just kind of stand by for Friday if you don't see me. So you thought you dropped into a time warp. Oh, yeah, you have to have it. Have to have that best stew. You're absolutely right, Kelly. All right, so the way I'm doing my borders is I'm not using, I went into Brilliance embroidery software and I got rid of batting placement, batting tack down, fabric placement, fabric tack down. All I have are the little swirls that look like snow drifts for the borders. So I'm going to say I'm like it was 28 3/4 and it was, the other one was like right at 29. Okay. For the dimensions of my quilt. So I want to stitch at least 30 inches of these snowdrift borders. And what I'm going to do is as I cut them apart on the fabric, I'm going to make sure I've got seam allowance on each side. Okay. And then I looked at the design. The stitching actually comes right next to the stitching line where the stitches, snowdrift stitches are. They're like right by it. Okay. So my plan is to make too many. Okay. And then I'm going to sew them together. So you really can't see where one drift stops and another one starts, and get that long enough and then sew it on and trim it just like a quilt border. So that's the plan on that. So I'm going to go ahead. All right, Margaret, you have a great day, sweetie. Be safe on the road. Okay, let's go to camera 2. I need to hoop up my stuff for my borders. Okay, let me get this out of here. We're not going to use that right now. And I'm using my big 16-inch hoop for the luminaire. Okay, so these border sizes in the background quilting on this one have all the way up to 14 inches, which is nice. So that'll fit in this big old hoop, what I want. Okay. So I just need to take a piece of stabilizer, long enough, right? Just kind of an inch or so hanging over each edge and side to side. They have all sizes on there for you folks with smaller hoops too, okay? And then I'm going to put my hoop, my plastic, corrugated plastic on there. I'm going to float it like I always do because that's how I roll. And I stand this up on the edge, okay? And I can see that these corners down here are where they need to be. I'm going to drop it flat. Before I remove the plastic, I'm going to get it exactly right by snugging it up on the edges here, okay? And I'm going to pull this out. There we go. That'll work. No pinch fingers. Yay. Okay. So I need to put some batting in there. Yeah. Let me set the batting like right here. It'll be fine. Yeah, I'm measuring. Very, very scientific. I do this all the time, you guys. You know that. Let me cut this. Okay. This is a great use of scraps too. Great use of batting scraps. Kind of put that over there like that. Okay. Now, you're probably going to go, that wastes fabric. Well, maybe. Not much. Okay. I'll have enough, believe it or not, for my borders. I'm going to need 2 hoopings to do this. I've got plenty of fabric for it. This is my measuring guide. I'll be able to do it, no problem. Even if I have to go into this smaller piece, it's not a big deal. Okay, I need to get this pressed. So I'm going to turn this around. Oh, you guys I got a couple of emails yesterday asking me, what is the makeup of what is underneath my ironing surface? So let me get through these cords and cameras. Hold on. So what is it? What is here? Okay, from the wood up, I have a layer of Insel Bright by the yard. I bought it by the yard on Amazon. It's in my Amazon store. Okay. And I have a layer of 12 gauge poly clear, like tablecloth cover. You can buy it at Walmart. Get it on Amazon too. So the Insel Bright is a heat protectant. This is 3/4 inch plywood. Okay. And then Insel Bright by the yard covered the whole thing. Then the poly plastic, which is a moisture barrier for the wood. You got to do that or it's not going to be happy for a long time. And then there are 2 layers, not 1, but 2 layers of 100% cotton batting, not a poly, 100% cotton. Okay, and that's going to help because that's a natural fiber. And that's going to help make all of your pressing surface nice and happy. You need to use natural fibers. And it's 2 layers of 100% cotton batting and then the pretty fabric on top. Okay. That's what this has underneath it. It also has 2 additional layers of pretty fabric that I have scorched. So there was a black one on here from J. Recker Fresh, her She Who Sews line, I think. No, maybe it was Pat Sloan's words. Yeah, it was Pat Sloan's words, her sewing words. And then there was that blue one that was under there. That was the J. Recker Fresh. And now it has the Lori Holt. So, oh, okay. Let's turn around here. You don't use steam. Yeah, Wendy. Yeah. If you don't use steam, you don't need to do that with the moisture barrier and all that. But I do. It's a happy. Y'all like my shirt? This is available at Be Inspired Tees. This quilter, Ho Hordes fabric. You love that? Hoop size is 10 by 16. It's the biggest one they make for the Luminaire. Y'all too, if you're out shopping around, you guys, I want to discourage you from buying aftermarket hoops that are not from Designs and Machine Embroidery by OESD. Aftermarket hoops, while they might work for a while, okay, they can damage the sensor that's inside of this arm. And you need to be careful about that. If that sensor is damaged, that's an expensive fix. Very expensive. Okay. So I'm just going to pop this in here. I need to change. People were talking about those aftermarket things in the Facebook. Is there a percentage off yet? Not right now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, here you go. That Debbie. Oh, well, hold on. There it is right there. Debbie's machine would not recognize an aftermarket hoop. You run the risk of wasting money when you buy aftermarket hoops. I actually had an old Baby Lock Elegante 2, and I bought a dime hoop. It was an old machine. I bought it on Craigslist. And I bought a dime hoop from Nancy's Notions up in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. It had been returned, right? And it was on clearance, super cheap. And so I bought it. I got it home, and gosh, this was 2009, I think, or 10. I got it home, and it recognized for a little bit, and then it just wouldn't. And it was loose and loopy in there. And so if the sensor isn't picking it up exactly, it's not going to work. And I had trouble with it, terrible. And I ended up, I actually reached out to Dime, and I said, hey, I have this hoop. It's not working, blah, blah, blah. They said, we'll just send you another one. They didn't charge me shipping or nothing. They just, this was way before my channel too. I was I'm just a customer. But they said, we've made some improvements to the sensor thingy, reactor D thing on the hoop itself. It worked perfect. So you definitely want to make sure you have got good products. Okay. Am I doing the white border? I am right now. Yeah. Yep, right now. So I'm going to go to embroidery. I need to change my thread color, and I need my glasses. Oh, they're right here. Okay. And I need a pair of scissors. And let's see. My orange is in there from when I changed the lip color on my penguin. And I'm going to use this cashmere color. Okay, let me tie this up. Now, what I did is I took 5 of the 1x14 snowdrift border stitching, and I put them on here. Okay, so I'm going to stitch 5 of those. I need a total of 60, right? We had almost, let's say, 30 down and 30 across. So I need a total of 60. So I need 2 more 14 inchers. And I've got the fabric for that. That's no problem. I'll use a smaller hoop, smaller fabric. swatches. I've got the 9x14 hoop that'll work. I don't even need that much. Let's see. What do I have here? 14, 15, 15 times 4 is 60, right? Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I need to go to my pocket for memory. Okay. All right. PSA, sign up for OESD emails and they give you for your birthday. They give you 20% off an order. Woo, get you a hoop then, huh? You betcha. Wirelessly. And I did right there. Let's see, that's 4. Where's the, I thought I sent, oh, here it is. Set. You can see my penguin in the background there. I'm going to go, to get rid of a background image, I'm going to go to my preferences and over to page 10. And it says background image. I'm going to hit delete and okay. And okay. So here it is. Let me zoom you in so you can see my screen. I got rid of placement line and tack down for batting and fabric. And all I have is 5 snowdrift pieces. That's it. Okay. Alrighty. Let me thread my needle. All right. Yeah, I love OESD too. I need to go to embroidery. I was so glad they bought Dime. I was so happy they did that. That was such a relief for Eileen Roche. This isn't going to take any time at all. Yeah, Mighty Hoops are great too. They are. Mighty Hoop is a good company. But those are for multi-needles, right? I'm going to pin this here. I don't think it goes. Let me see. I need to make sure that this stays where I want it. And over here. They're pretty. I love the little snowflake fabric. Pin this up here at the top. I just want to smooth it out, make sure it stays nice and smooth. Way over there on the edge. Okay. I should have done that before I started, huh? Yeah. Yeah, Thompson, you should have. Okay. Okay. I'm going to let that go. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to, when I go to cut this out, I'm going to make sure I've got at least 1/2 inch between them. So I have my 1/4 inch seam allowance on each side. And then I'm going to be able to sew them end to end. Okay. That'll work really well. You can float in the regular luminaire 10x16 as well. Yes, Crystal, you can float anything you want. Yeah, you can. Okay. What model luminaire do I recommend as a backup to the 10 needle that you have? So, like this came out of the box as an XP1 because I got it when they first came out. So all that changes with the luminaires as you move up in XP2 or XP3 are the brains. That's all that changes are the brains. So buy the most brains that you can afford. Most of them on the market now are XP3s. But if you're buying an after from a private seller, they might not have bought the upgrades. They were expensive. They were like $800 a piece. So, and all they did was they came with brains and maybe a new hoop or something like that. Okay. So yeah, the Stellaire only has the 9x14, I believe. And that's a great machine. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of combining embroidery and quilting concepts to create my borders here. Okay. And then I'll be able to just sew them on. Now it's not going to have that sew line, but I am going to trim it so that it's a 1/4 inch away from the stitching, because I could tell in the Brilliance embroidery software that stitching line runs right next to the top and bottom stitches of the snowdrifts. Okay. So if you don't have, if you buy like an XP1 or XP2, a Luminaire or a Baby Lock, same thing, and they don't, how did I delete the background on a design, Valentina? I'm not sure I understand what background you mean. The background image on the screen or the background, the stitching? The 9x14 is the largest on the Stellaire. Okay, good. Yeah. Will I add batting to the borders? There's batting under this already. Yes. Yeah, there's already batting in the hoop. So I bought all the upgrades for this machine. Okay. So essentially it's an XP3. It doesn't know it's an XP1 anymore at all. But the label right here and up here, it says XP1. But you can go into the upgrades. You can see the, it'll tell you. I'll show you how you can see that as soon as this finishes up. It's on its last deal. Interesting to see what I'm creating. Loris is like, what are you doing? Oh, so tomorrow for you members only folks who are members of our members only videos, tomorrow morning I will release the digitizing version, how I digitized block 2 for Prairie Days. That's going to be coming out, I think. Okay, we're all done here. Good. So what I have are my snowdrifts. Okay. So I'm going to trim and make sure I have at least 1/4 inch away out here. I'm going to cut these. And they're supposed to be cut 1.5 inches. They tell you to put 1.5 inch fabric strip on here and stitch on that, right? I'm not doing that. I just did it like this. So I've got 5 of them in here. And then I'm just going to sew them end to end to end and sew it on as a border. That's how you do that. Okay. So if you want to see how to know if a machine has been upgraded, okay, and they're called kits. Let me go and cruise in right here. Turn it, turn it, turn it. There we go. And back out. How do you skip the background quilting on the machine? I still don't understand. Okay. If you just tell it do not stitch. Okay. So if I go here to my properties, okay, and I'm going to scooch over to page. So here you can see the latest software version you've got. This is 4.62. It says new update on server. Press the start key to download the update program. Yeah, I'll do that in a little while. You can press that start key right there. Let me go one more over. Artspira connection. Where's it at? Right there. Okay. This is on page 7. So you can see I have kit 1, kit 2, kit 3, and the scan and cut my connection. Okay. So if it didn't have this, it has a check mark by each. If it didn't have it, and there was one available, the certification would be highlighted. Right now it's grayed out. It doesn't work. And it wouldn't have a check mark by it. So you can get that. Okay. And you get those through dealers. They can give you codes and whatnot. Okay. What are you looking for, Tiny? I can't remember. I didn't see it. How big is my ironing surface? I told my husband, Barbara, make it wide enough for me to be able to iron out a fat 1/4 flat and 1 yard flat on the bolt fold. So, oh yeah, designs on the machine that came in the machine, you can't transfer them out. That doesn't work. Brother or Baby Lock, you can't do that. Okay. You're tired of your loud Janome. Oh, wow. Golden's mama, she's like, oh, my machine was so loud. I got to get rid of that. All right. So let's get these trimmed up. Okay. Let me see here. Tiny, I think clear blue. Are you talking about clear blue tiles? Those would be perfect for you. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of these pins here. And let's open this up. Oh. Let me see. All right. Let's change cameras. You can see what I'm doing. Move this out of the way. All right. So I am trimming this. So this design, we had a camera issue there. I don't know what happened, but it decided to quit. Okay. So this design, if I look at it with my ruler, it is at its widest point, really less than 1 inch across. Okay. So from the very edge, highest edge of the stitching, I'm going to put my 1/4 inch mark on it here, and I'm going to cut my sides first. I'm going to give myself a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm looking at the stitching. I know you guys can't see it because it's white on white, and I apologize, but that's the name of the game here, right? So let me get rid of this. Now look, if I needed to, I could stitch another 10-inch piece on this right here. I could just put that on another piece of stabilizer, the batting and the fabric, and go. And that may be all I need, really. We'll see. Okay. Hold on a second. Do I have low battery on? Yeah, Lisa text. It was a battery issue. Thanks, Lisa. Yeah, I just got your text. But I heard it cut off. I heard it cut off, so I was able to switch. My girls are looking out for me. I appreciate that so much. All right, here's another piece. You can just leave the selvage on. Okay, so this can be used if I need more, which I think I need a couple more inches of it. All right. So this is just how it's going to go. So from the highest edge, I could even do not a 1/4, I could even do 3/8. You don't have to be super exact when you're doing machine embroidery. Trim off these extra things. I don't want super thick seam allowances on these borders. It just makes the quilt more lumpy. You know, let me get that straight. Okay. Okay. So it's easier coming from the right to just do one side of each stitching set at a time and then flip it around and do the other. Okay. So I'll trim that in a second on the other side. I'm just doing this. But I want to get 2 of them done, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to, because we're going to run out of time. I'm going to show you how I'm going to sew them together. And I'm trying to be pretty close to accurate on these because, gosh, I wish I could see that better. Just so they match up nice. Okay. Let me see, a 1/4 inch there. And we'll do 3/8 and 3/8. I'll do 3/8. That'll make me happy. Gives me a little wiggle room there. Okay. So here it is. There's a border piece. And I'm leaving the stabilizer on it. Okay. Let me do a 3/8. I don't think that other one looks crooked to me for some reason. Okay. So I'm just going to sew these, all right sides together with a 1/4 inch seam, and then press my seams open. And there's my border piece. See? There it is right there. So 3 for one side, 3 for another. I got to stitch one more because I did 5 in the first one. I want to make sure I had plenty of room in between. But yeah, that's going to work out great. And sew my borders on. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing for the 4-inch border with the little houses. And I'm going to use the white thread in the 4-inch border so that you can see it. So, okay. I bet you're, Carolyn's saying the dates are wrong on my stuff. I bet your TV is wrong. I'm certain your iPad is correct. Oh, thank you, Patches. She says she just ordered the first pack of home sewn and the embellishment kit with my link. Yes. That's going to be fun. That is the one that if you want to see what that looks like, what that whole quilt looks like, it's a house a month you're going to get. And it is in the 2024 or 2025 Houston market video. And Kim was showing me that at market. And it's so cute because there's a sewing machine in the window of each one of these houses. And it's really cool because the December one, where in all the other houses, it looks like it's daytime. In the December one, it looks like nighttime. And there's a light in the window and the sewing machine is in the window because don't we all sew furiously on Christmas Eve into the night? All right, you guys, this has been a lot of fun. I hope this was helpful and gives you some options for doing your borders. You can certainly do them. I am putting batting in them too. So if you are doing it on the sewing machine and you're not background quilting, you might take some 505 or some KK2000 adhesive spray and adhere your batting to your fabric. And that may help you as well. So, all right, y'all, this has been a lot of fun. I will not be here tomorrow. And hopefully I'll be back on Friday. If not, we will see you on Monday. No giveaway this week unless I'm here on Friday. All right. We'll talk to you soon. I love you guys. And y'all go sew something. Bye.